We know the success of a spec class is to make sure there's parity. If it gets
why did we make sure that before the season started?
We have. Mike and Al have
You're the only one right now that's unhappy.
I'm the only one that's man enough to stand up and make myself look like an ass because you guys aren't doing your job. We went to the V8 and the Pro Light to establish equal race conditions. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, they're all supposed to be comparable horsepower.
The Mopar, Sam Hubernet goes inside of Ross Hook and his Ford. Hubernet will go into first. Ross Hook goes around. Hubernet will take the win, and Ross Hook and his Ford will finish in fourth.
That is telling me that his chassis is light years better than my 10-year-old Pro 2 chassis. The technology far outweighs anything else on the track.
Whenever you're one of the bigger teams and you're fast, drivers and teams have to make excuses why they're not winning.
It's always funny because when you're winning races, people are going to accuse you of cheating.
Everyone took the rules to the line. I mean, some people bent it, some people went around.
You know, we're trying to do it fair and square, and you know, it's frustrating when there's teams out there cheating to be on top.
Unbelievable, dude! Unbelievable! We are totally done with this.
The whiners, complainers about cheating trucks. Check them again.
You know, it is what it is. This year, hopefully, we'll have a good year and less drama.
I think 2012 is going to be drama-free. Well, Ross Hoke's here, so no.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Spec class means everything should be equal. You know, trucks are built a little differently. Not a ton. I mean, you can do different things with the cockpits and that kind of stuff, but, you know, suspension points on the Pro Lights are all the same. Motors are sealed, so you can't touch them once they're in the truck. You know, it's the way racing should be.
The purpose of it is two things. One is cost containment to make that type of racing affordable. And the second part is it's really driver focused more than engineering and design focused.
USAC in this Pro Light division I feel, has done a real good job with making rule changes from 4 cylinders that were very expensive, that were ruining the class. Car count was way down. Teams just couldn't afford to do it.
The 4 cylinders back in the day were, you know, $30,000 a motor. So it's good to have a spec class, and I think, you know, I've raced in 3 different spec classes now, and from road racing to off-road, and I think it's the way this class should be.
You know, we knew when we went a couple years ago into the Spec V8 category that we were stepping into an area that was going to be very tough to stay on top of and was going to always be ever-changing because we're dealing with 3 different types of formulas that we're trying to keep parity and equality in. We had a new formula of that V8 introduced with Mopar coming in.
The Crave Motor program is one that we run, but it's based on the spec that's put out by the OEs. It's our job to ensure that across the OEs, there's parity between all the engines.
It's never going to be a truly spec class till everyone has to run the same engine, the same tranny, the same everything right there. Chassis changes only, but from the chassis, it is spec. It is spec. All the pivot points are made to be the same.
We are able to come to this class because it was supposed to be set in stone rules.
The more rules you have, the more opportunities you have to interpret the rules the way you want to read them.
There's always a little bit of area that's left up for subjectivity. My role and the role of the race director and the role of all the other officials is to make decisions that support the intent of the rule book.
A rule book is essentially a permissive document. It spells out the things that you can do. Things that aren't listed are essentially things that you can't do.
As a class, we all want to know if there's a problem, and I think we're all on the same page as far as finding that answer.
We are looking at ensuring that there is parity among the three engine manufacturers right now.
You know, that's the issue that we deal with every week, is trying to make sure that what we're doing is making it to where the engine package that they have is the same across the board, whether they're running any of the three allowed manufacturers.
The Ram's got 35 more foot-pounds of torque on average below 5,000 RPM, from 4 to 5,000 RPM. They're saying that's not a competitive advantage. 35 foot-pounds of torque sounds like a pretty big competitive advantage to me.
There's been talk since the beginning of the season that the Mopar motors are pretty hot.
Pro Lights, we have a chassis dyno coming.
Well, on the dyno, you want to make sure that the engines are producing equal, or at least very near equal, horsepower and torque over the whole operating range of the engine.
The problem, what I see happening, is they're going to put them on a chassis dyno today. You lose 60% of your horsepower through the drivetrain on these trucks. I do stuff in my drivetrain to make my truck more efficient than some of the other guys.
We're good? Hey, it's a happy day. They all are pretty level as far as the power they're making, but how they're applying and when they're applying that power to the ground varies greatly between each manufacturer.
So this is a good tester here. It is. It's a very good tester, but very hard to tell on a chassis dyno.
None of us have actually got to see a dyno sheet of the Ram motor.
They did the whole, chassis dyno, and none of that information was ever public.
Honestly, I don't think anything's changed from last year. It's just, I don't think anything's really been resolved.
It's not perfect. We're going to continue to work on it. You're going to see probably some more tweaks between the three manufacturers to try to ensure that, the torque curve and the power curve is the same.
I'm optimistic, but a lot of times it just gets drug out until you realize, oh, well, there is a difference. Well, now the season's already over. So, I'm kind of tired of the whole thing. I want to go out there and race and be competitive, but I also want to know that all the engines are competitive.
We hear all the controversy swirling all around about the different engine packages. Right here on the Super Speedway, once again, the Mopars continue to dominate.
I got the dyno sheets from Kenny Kincaid and the Traxxas, and this year he's open about it, and it feels like this year the class is really wanting to work together to solve this issue.
Kenny Kincaid just showed me dyno numbers. The Ram engine flat out kills the Ford engine below 5,000 RPM. And the Ford doesn't have anything on the Ram until you're above 5,800 RPM. Well, we're only allowed to go to 6,000, which means you really can only use up to 5,900.
That's a beautiful torque.
That's a chip that the series put in for me.
Well, see, and all these
they're already restricting me down to 5850.
In this sport, when you've got 7 turns a race, 4 to 5,000 RPM is where you're coming out of the corners, and that's where you need that power to accelerate out of the turn. To me, it's plain as day why Andrew Dell's been dominating. He's a good driver, he's in a good truck, and he's flat out got us beat on power. I've seen the proof now. I've known it for a year and a half, and now I've seen the proof. They can't deny it any longer. Do I feel vindicated? No. I'm really upset that USAC made me out to be the bad guy for a year and a half and didn't establish this parity before we started.
He's focused more on us than he is focused on himself. You know, if he thinks putting a Mopar in his truck is going to make him that much better, try it and see what happens. I honestly can guarantee that he would not move up a spot.
I really believe that if Andrew had the exact same truck as everybody else, he would not have the wins that he has.
Do I think we're ever going to be able to have them believing there's 100% parity? No. Hell no.
Paul Crandon, USAC, made a minor change and pulled a little power out of the Dodges. That leveled things out a little bit. Now this year we're seeing a little bit of a change.
And I got to reiterate one more time, the parity of manufacturers going on right now. Ford up front, you've got a Ram in second, you've got a Nissan in third, and fourth, once again, another Ram. So you know what? Talk about cheating all you want, but it ain't happening.
That's fine. Go, 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 go.
Our last year's Ford with Brian Deegan in it just set fast lap and track record here in that Ford that we set it with last year. The bull needs to stop right now. Casey Curry, all the crying needs to end right now.
They need to just shut up and drive.
Let's move on and start racing again. Stop whining. Racing RedBud is like when we used to race here on a motocross bike. You know, it's gnarly, natural terrain. They let it chew up. You know, it's good old-fashioned black dirt. The terrain changes in the hills and off cambers, and it's just, you know, and you look out over the track, and it's so, you know, picturesque, beautiful thing. You know, I'm excited, like being here for sure.
Today at RedBud, I expect to see kick-ass racing. And that's what we want to see. That's what the fans want to see. The track's in great condition. The dirt's really good right now. The weather's great. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I think we got probably 6 guys that can win on any given day. You know, me, Luke, Keegan, you know, CJ Greaves, Randy Eller's been showing some promise out there. You know, Brad Lovell's, I mean, the man out there all the time. So, you know, we got to get a lot of good competition.
Yeah, CJ's this young kid. He's having fun, you know, and he's one of the guys that are out there you got to beat, you know, in Pro Light. Him, Andrew, Luke, it's going to be a tough season in Pro Light this year.
The motor stuff has kind of died down a little bit, but I know it'll come back sooner or later. Right now it seems somewhat dead, so let's not bring it up.
I mean, I just do my own thing. I'm here to win. I'm not here to make friends, so we're gonna do what we have to do to come out on top.
What we're seeing this year is another team switching over to the Mopar. You know, if you can't beat them, join them.
I do have a new engine.
CJ showed up with a engine that didn't have a torque seal on it. It was sealed, but not something that the torque guys were familiar with.
Yeah, it's going to open a can of worms, but that's what it's all about. We got to get parity in this class, and it's not parity.
That's interesting. That's the first I've heard that he even had different motors.
If anything gets done with my motor, I'm going to make sure that all those Dodges get looked at, because nothing's been looked at to this point.
That's the first I've heard of it.
It's kind of fun. I don't know. It's, you know, all this stuff about the Mopar stuff. I'm sure there's people out there complaining about it, but yet a Ford's on the pull. So, and we're on a track that horsepower makes no difference whatsoever. So
nobody has what they have until now. You know, and now they're pissed because we got what they got.
It's funny to hear that kind of stuff, but that's what I want to do, to kind of silence a couple people. Maybe that's what happens.
Yeah, I did something a little sneaky, but we weren't hiding anything. I came there with an engine and exposed it to them to show them that this is a problem they have. They just haven't ran into it yet.
Yeah, I thought he had a Toyota. This completely blew my mind.
It's a motocross kind of track. I've been in motocross forever, and it helps a ton.
I think passing's going to be a challenge out here because there is some one-line racing. With the right turns and being aggressive, getting your nose in there, I think it can be done.
If you're not on your game 100%, it's going to bite you. It's just not just about driving. You got to respect this track.
There's no question. You got to push it to the limit. Unless you're two-wheeling it, unless you're on the verge of wrecking, you're not going to do anything out here.
Side by side, Ross Hook will lead them to the stripe in his Ford as we get set to take the green flag.
Great.
Here they come towards the Red Bull starting line. Green flag is out. Keegan Kincaid pulls the early hole shot.
Outside in.
DJ's on on your outside. Watch for the outside, inside.
And the only way to pass on this course is just to get inside and bang the guy out. And, you know, I was doing that a little bit. I got into CJ pretty hard.
We're playing out here. It's a little track. Watch it. Morris is looking to the inside. All right.
Greaves coming on that left-hand corner. Sauce back and forth the wheel. Greaves hooks the right up on 2 wheels.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's off. You're going to put me back over.
They're coming. They're coming. Going full course yellow. So you'll be on the lead lap.
10-4. I did not mean to get into CJ that hard. Yeah, I know. That was pretty hard. I realize what's going to happen is going to happen, but you might want to knock Johnny on the shoulder.
If Johnny Greaves is concerned, it's hard to tell right now.
Not trying to start a war. Yeah, I know.
CJ back on all fours. The truck is fired back up. The only situation that's coming out of this that's any good, he's on the lead lap yet.
Hey, you know what we got to do now, right?
Yep. Time for the play hard ball.
The young 16-year-old now finds himself on the lead lap, but behind the pack.
Come on, let's get both of these guys. We got to go to the front.
The big uphill, CJ Greaves starts to pick them off one by one.
Come on, we're wasting laps. Get on his ass and put him away.
Right on your tail. He's going to put a bumper on you.
Competition yellow next lap. You need to get both of these guys.
CJ still picking them off, one at a time.
This is where you close the gap on Hook every time. Let's get on the chart.
CJ fast through the big uphill section and the jump. Ross Hook looking. Whoa, Ross Hook goes over multiple times.
Roll top of the hill. Roll top of the hill. Stay to your left. Stay to your left. Stay to your left.
Ross is gone. That should give us a restart again, too.
Full course yellow. Back it off. Back it off. Full course yellow.
Talk to me. Anything?
I'm all right. All right.
You all right?
I heard him say he was fine.
Yeah, we're going to have to make some things happen quick, right?
Yeah, I think I got some ways to make this happen.
All right. Let's go hunt.
We are.
You got the gun. They got the knife. You got the gun. Come on, boys. We're going to have a little fun. We're going hunt.
Kincaid!
Go, go, oh, go, 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 go.
Kincaid gets into the back of Johnson. Now it's Johnson and Greaves going at it.
That lead pack of birds beating and banging on each other, so watch them.
CJ continues to pick his way through the field.
Stay on it. Stay on it. He filed in behind you. He's still going to run up the hill. Stay tight.
Greaves gets by Johnson. Greaves now in the second place.
Back up front, the number one of Andrew Cadell, coming around the final left-hand sweeper. Going through the sand section, looking for yet another checkered flag, but look how close CJ Greaves makes it at the end.
Nice job from the back, buddy. Nice job.
It was a rough race, you know. We knew we had to be kind of aggressive at the beginning, but also be a little patient on this track. It was getting nasty, you know, there was a lot of holes, you know, landing off this Red Bull finish line jump. The thing is bottoming out every lap. It's awesome, you know, started the season 3 for 3.
We were running our lines and got up on the bike and put her on her side, and they put us back down, and this freaking Monster Energy Toyota Maxx truck was on fire, and we reeled in these boys, and another lap or so I would have been knocking on Cadell's door. Good job, dude. Thank you for killing it.
Great job for this Monster Toyota Maxx team.
A lot of celebrating going on, and well-deservedly so, on top of the Pro Light podium.
So we came here to prove that the Dodge engine is stronger than the Ford. We got fast lap both days, and we're just on rails. There was a protest filed by a different team before, basically like a minute after the race. They already had it all filled out, the money on the line, everything. So they were ready to protest me. We were expecting it. Our truck's legal.
We sat around and talked about it in my pit afterward, and we figured it would take 50 horsepower to give you an advantage like that, to outdrive the other people, unless you just had a lucky day.
Well, clearly, it's outside of the scope of the rule book. I mean, the rule book says only these certain rebuilders can rebuild engines, and so what I did was I disqualified them. he was disqualified from the Saturday race. End of story.
They think we're cheating now, so I guess it is what it is. They're going to penalize me either way.
Kind of disproves anything about illegal motors and all that, eh?
Right? We knew it was going to bring controversy.
Letter of the law, it wasn't an approved engine, but it is an approved engine in the other series.
You know, he's a torque driver. He knows what the rules are. Stanton Racing just has to build the Mopar motor. They're contracted to do so. They're the only builder that can build them. It's fair for what happened according to the rules. You know, it's good to see that USAC and TORC is sticking to their rules.
For me, I need to uphold the rule book, and so if they come and they break the rules, they're going to get penalized.
The Mopar engine it's been a big thing all through Pro Light since it came around, and they would not tell us what they were, so we went and got our own, and now we know what it is and what the difference is, and it shows.
Nice job from the back, buddy. Nice job.
After the post-event technical performance inspection of the engine, I imposed a 3-point penalty as well as a financial penalty for their actions of running an illegal engine in the race on Saturday. What happened was the competitors all got together as a group. They came to me unanimously and said, look, we'd like to allow him to compete.
We'll let CJ race, but meet these goals. And the goals were an open test session. The goals were transparency with the data. The goals were keep the class informed.
They decided that, you know, it is a problem we're going to have, so we need to work it out, and hey, let's use this issue to work it out.
USAC decided that Sunday they were going to let me race, and if my engine was legal, the DQ would go away.
You know, I don't want to judge what they did, but right or wrong, it's brought this to a head again, and we just need to use the inertia we have now to just really iron it all out for this day. Second day of racing, it's always more aggressive. There's always a lot of bumping and grinding going on out there. I'm looking for a win, and I'm frustrated, and I want to win an event. I'm going to do my damnedest to go out there and win this race. I want it.
Today could be Brad Lovell's greatest chance in his search for his first Pro Light victory as he sits on the pole, leading them around 2 by 2 all the way to the stripe.
Well, Jim, I got to tell you this right now. With all the eyes on that front row, there's just as many, if not more, a little bit further back in the pack on young CJ Greaves with what took place yesterday and last night back in the pits. USAC DQ'd CJ Greaves, but as a group, the Pro Light drivers got together and allowed him to run today. This is exactly what the drivers actually wanted to happen, is for the parity of the class of manufacturers to come to the forefront. And Greaves pretty much forced the issue.
And the streak goes both ways, and kudos to USAC for trying to make that all happen.
As we take a look at our field right now, there's the camera on CJ Greaves as he gets ready to take the green flag. A little bit further back, that's Andrew Cadell with an in-car camera as well. Jim?
As we take a look at Sean Morris, Privateer, the only Chevrolet out in today's field.
As they come down the hill one more time before we take the green flag, being paced by the Mopar Ram Runner. Jim, this is that moment when they're doing one final tug on those belts, one final comment from their spotters.
Well, all those butterflies, all those nerves that lead up to pre-race, once that green flag drops, well, that all goes away. Go big or go home. There's no more racing come Monday.
Sunday's known for checkers or wreckers. We're about to find out who's going home in a flatbed. Green flag is out. We're underway.
Clear, all clear, all clear. Protect that inside. Oh, he's inside.
And how about this? Randy out with the whole shot.
Check up that big.
Looks like some contact or a little damage on the front of that Brad Lovell machine already.
Brad Lovell getting roosted on that shield. You can see he's about ready to pull a tear off. Randy Eller still has the point. But how about Brad Lovell aggressively going after the lead? Lovell goes inside of Eller. That tight left-hand 180. Lovell still has the inside.
Keegan Kincaid doing some door-to-door battling.
Side, clear.
Eller still holding off Lovell. Headed into the straightaway right before the Red Bull finish line, completing lap number 1. Eller with the lead. Who would have guessed it at this point, even on lap number 1?
5 lengths. You got a 5-length lead. Keep digging, keep digging.
Brad Lovell, Keegan Kincaid running 2 and 3, trying to chase down Eller.
Off the corner, keep digging. 4 back to level, 4 to level.
Kincaid and Johnson now battling for position. CJ Greaves moves into the top 5.
We've heard his name swirling all weekend. Keep an eye on that machine.
Luke Johnson right now running that 3rd spot. Kincaid 4th, but Greaves now trying to get the inside of Keegan Kincaid. Now watch here. He'll do the outside-inside move to the turn. That is one of his favorite moves. Going all the way back to the motocross days. Some of the best drivers in off-road are former motocross riders. And Greaves right now is proving that point as we go back up front. Eller still holding off. Brad Lovell, Luke Johnson in 3rd.
I don't know how long they're going to let him beat on you. Just be aware he's there and he is hitting you.
Brad Lovell looking to the inside and that left-hand sweeper. We've seen a lot of problems here all weekend.
Inside.
Brad Lovell completing the pass and is the new leader.
So it's Brad Lovell, Randy Eller, and Luke Johnson.
Coming up on your inside. You got a truck on your inside. Inside.
3-truck battle going on right now for that 3rd spot.
Take a look at Luke grabbing a tear off with all the dust being shot in his face.
Man, and Randy Eller's just getting punched around right now by all the young guns in this class. Luke Johnson, Keegan Kincaid, CJ Greaves, here comes Andrew Cadell, and right in the middle of that is all Randy Eller. Here comes Greaves now on Eller. Greaves again aggressively goes to the inside, and here comes Cadell going to follow him through.
Boy, everyone's just taking their shots at Eller right now while they can.
Cadell on the move as he's just absolutely running away from Randy Eller. It won't be long now as CJ Greaves has got to know that Cadell's on his back bumper.
Brad Lovell's lead starting to stretch out just a little bit.
Luke Johnson, Keegan Kincaid, CJ Greaves, Andrew Cadell. I think we'll be saying those names a lot in 2012.
I would say that's a safe bet as CJ gets a good drive onto the front stretch of that sand section, which he has been picking up ground each time by.
Man, I don't know what the combination is of that Toyota, but whatever it is, whether it's tires, shocks it up, grooming, whatever it is, maybe even driver will throw that in the mix of things, but CJ has found the combination this weekend.
Well, obviously in a spec type of class, the driver has a lot to do with it. I know how much testing the Greaves family does, and kudos to those guys. And CJ driving 2 different classes out here, Pro 2 and the Pro Light, getting a lot of seat time out here in these trucks.
That's what it comes down to, Jim. I really feel that it's the guys that have the ability, whether it's the budget or the time or the crews that can go out and test. Test the right parts, test the tires, test the shocks, test the transmissions, the gearing. Those are the guys that are going to be running up front race after race.
You know, I couldn't agree more. It also has to do with what track you're at, though. Some tracks are longer, higher speed, shorter, more technical. You never know what you're going to get. So test, test, test. No doubt about it as we see CJ come flying through that sand section.
He's trying to reel in the back bumper of Keegan Kincaid running in 3rd right now. Luke Johnson in 2nd. Great run by him so far this afternoon. But right now, I got to be watching Brad Lovell. Watch his lines. He is probably the hungriest driver out there for that first win. There's a lot of guys looking for that first win.
So far, so good. He's trying to put as much distance as those guys behind him as he possibly can. See parts flying off that AMSOIL Nissan.
Keep in mind, these bodies are made out of fiberglass. So they're made to be tore off, banged into, bounced off, ripped off. So it's not a matter of what it looks like cosmetically at the end. It's just a matter of kind of what it looks like at the very beginning.
Let the headlights fall off, but leave the sponsor stickers on there, right?
Yeah. Luke Johnson getting a little heat right now from Keegan Kincaid as they battle for that 2nd spot. The future of Pro Light or the future of off-road racing is right there from 2nd on back, I'd have to say.
These young competitors are already very tough in their class. Of course, Brad Lovell does several different kinds of off-road racing with desert and the rock crawling world as well.
Man, you can see these guys are struggling just a little bit through that left-hand turn where it's Blue Groove. Just kind of tiptoeing around, not wanting to over-rotate even an inch or so. And Sean Morris is on its side. Not sure exactly what happened. You can see the USAC safety crew right there to help him over back on its wheels. And this is what's going to happen to him. If he can get back on its wheels and fire back up before they come back around, he'll still be in the lead lap.
Got a yellow coming around the downhill. Yellow coming around the downhill. Stay to your right. Stay to your right.
It looks like this is going to be definitely a local caution, a local yellow flag. Now that is from the first yellow flag to the side of the incident. No speeding, no passing.
Clear. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
That's right, and they can go back underway once that happens, and that they do. Sean Morris back underway as well.
And Jim, he is a lap down as he was not able to get back underway until the pace truck had already passed him.
At least he's back out there, which is a good thing, and he'll be able to regroup and have a second chance once the mandatory caution comes out. That's a little bit different. That's a full course yellow. What that does is that groups the whole field back together. The number one guy doesn't want to see that's our leader, Brad Lovell.
And we should be seeing that competition yellow any moment now. And like you said, that's what the leader does not want to see.
The competition yellow. Coming to the yellow this time by.
Brad Lovell, if he still has the lead at the halfway point, will receive the 2 points for leading. Luke Johnson should receive 1 point for second place across the line. But meanwhile, you got Randy Eller pulled the whole shot in lap number 1 all the way back in 6th, and he can't be happy at this point. And there's the competition yellow waving.
Everything is good with the truck. The track just freaking sucks. Yeah. Nowhere to go. I just told him all 5 trucks that are in the lead pushed us out of the way to take the lead. So just be calm off the start, but you get clean air and you just go, dig it hard, and put some space on them because then they're going to fight each other and be hanging back.
You're looking at Brad Lovell, our leader, getting some advice from his crew chief, JT Taylor, as they get set to go green one more time.
Right until the wheels fall off, brother.
All the drivers getting in the ready right now for that green flag.
All right, Luke, we go green this time by. Take deep breath. Hold the tail. I got your eyes.
Green flag is out for Brad Lovell once again.
Luke Johnson, CJ Greaves, Keegan Kincaid, and Andrew Cadell all in the top 5.
Brad Lovell off to the start once again, looking to hold on to that lead this time.
Man, he barely got through that left-hand turn. You can see the wheel all the way to the right lock, which meant he was fishtailing off to the left. So he was barely able to hang on. And look at CJ Greaves.
Yeah, you're in the group yet. Stay with him.
Picking up right where he left off yesterday, CJ Greaves is aggressively on the move, going after Luke Johnson.
Andrew Cadell hot on his heels, followed by Keegan Kincaid.
I'm starting to notice something, Jim, on this track. As you look around almost every section of the corners, it appears that it's kind of scrubbing off the surface dirt, if you want to call it that, and creating a one-line track.
On it. Go. You're getting on him. Go get him. Come on. Easy up the jump here, and then go get him the rest of the way. Nice run. Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It looks like it's getting harder and harder to pass as these guys are somewhat staying in the same group. While I just say that, CJ Greaves ducks to the inside.
Luke Johnson pushed hard to that left-hand corner. Somehow was able to hang on to the spot, but CJ Greaves is still there as well. Greaves taking a peek to the inside. You know what? This track, once again, is getting all rutted up as these trucks are bouncing around this track.
That's Keegan. He's right there.
Brad Lovell's in a pretty good spot right now, Jim. Obviously with the lead, but he's not only got clean air and a clean track and clean vision, but the thing is, it doesn't look like any one driver's quicker than the other right now.
When you talk about clean air and vision, no one behind him has that. He wants to hold on to that. All those guys doing battle, man, got all kinds of dirt being thrown in their face.
You know, speaking of the dirt being kicked up in the face of these drivers, Passing in off-road is much like NASCAR. You just don't come up on the guy in front of you and make a pass. You have to actually kind of fade back a little bit and charge at the truck in front of you to make the pass.
We'll make the run on the inside at the top of this jump, so be aware.
Once again, you got our spotters, a perfect example of letting their drivers know what's going on the track. As Johnny Greaves was talking to CJ, as you can see exactly what Johnny was talking about is happening. With Luke Johnson, CJ Greaves, Andrew Cadell, all right there. You know what? One lap ago, there's a pretty good gap between all of our top 5 guys. And look what happened in less than one lap. They're all grouped back together from second on back.
And you know what? Brad Lovell's saying, you guys keep beating and banging back there.
All right, clear by 2. Doing good, Brad. Stay on the gas.
Andrew Cadell pulls up just for a moment. Looked like he was pulling up alongside CJ Greaves, but I have a funny feeling that these guys, as a truck, especially in that sandy area, it's very hard with limited horsepower to carry momentum and speed through there.
Go, go. Oh, he's coming right behind you. Whoa, just missed.
CJ Greaves
Good
ducking
deal.
to the inside of Luke Johnson as they battle side by side for position.
And big-time air from both the drivers going ahead in that left-hand sweeper. Here comes Cadell to the inside, trying to make a 3-truck battle. Cadell goes inside of Johnson, now going after Greaves. And man, all of a sudden Johnson loses 2 spots, maybe 3 in a matter of 2 corners, but the lucky one of this whole mess was CJ Greaves.
Andrew Cadell definitely pushing his way through the mix as well, too, as Luke Johnson kind of getting pinballed and shuffled back a couple spots.
3 to go. Let's stay on the charge. Stay on the charge.
With just a few laps remaining, the battle's starting to heat up big time for second place between Greaves and Cadell. But up front, Brad Lovell. You know, Jim, you probably know this guy better than any other person out there. What do you think is going through his head going after his first win right now?
Man, it's got to be tough to keep it all together. You hear his spotter telling him, keep the hammer down, only a few laps to go, but you got to keep calm and just do what you got to do. What got you here, basically, and it looks like he is because his lead looks like he's getting bigger, if anything.
Well, the scary part is also that you got that youthful enthusiasm, the no-fear guys that are running second on back, all those young guys that are like in their teens and early 20s right behind them.
Good, Brad. Stay calm. Stay on the charge.
You hear him again, just trying to calm down his driver while keeping him on the go.
2 to go. Charge, charge. Dig, 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 baby. 2 to go.
Get it through the corner. Looking all the way down track, buddy.
Yeah, that's always been a comment that I've heard from spotters where it's interesting. Stay calm, but stay aggressive.
2 laps to go. You're by 3.
Yeah, good luck with that, you know, that's all I can say. He does it so far, he's doing a great job. That big left-hand turn sweeper where we've seen a lot of things go on, keeps it smooth through there, lets the guys battle behind him.
Good. Stay calm. Stay on the gas.
I kind of wonder if JT Taylor, the spotter for Lovell, is kind of like taking a little bit of his own medicine right now. He knows just as well as Brad that this is his first career win, so I think JT's also kind of getting ready to jump out of his skin.
Well, and he, as a spotter, he's got to be calm as well and talk his guy through it. So think of it on his. It would be his first win as a crew chief.
Doing good. Stay calm, baby. White flag. 1 to go. Stay on the charge. Don't check out on me. Stay on the gas.
Well, now the fun lap starts, man. You know what? Do you think all of a sudden the truck is starting to make crazy noises out of the motor, the transmission? Do you think the driver's starting to panic a little bit?
I would say all that and more. Things you're actually hearing, things you're making up inside your head, all of that comes into play. Plus, you can't back off too far. You get in a certain rhythm, and if you get out of that, that could be trouble as well.
You know, the thing is, the driver also has that rhythm, but the truck does too. It's used to being driven a certain way, and all of a sudden, if you slow down or start trying to save your truck for the last half a lap or so, and then all of a sudden, if you try to speed up, all of a sudden you overdrive the truck. You overdrive it into the corners. So a lot of things can happen in one lap.
Nice and smooth. Come on. You're clear by 2.
1 turn remaining. It's been a long time coming, Jim. That Amsoil Nissan number 44 is pointed now at the Red Bull finish line. Taking his first career win in Pro Light will be Brad Lovell.
It's all you, baby. All you.
Yes, guys! Oh, you've waited long for this! Good job, everybody!
We're coming down there to pick up our cardboard stick.
Get on down there, guys.
If this is what we're out here to do, to win races and to be on the podium.
I'm happy for him. You know, he was over in our pit about half an hour before the race looking, you know, trying to figure some sentences out. So maybe my dad gave him a little too much information or something.
The key to this one, I think, was just staying out in front, not making any mistakes. It's real hard to pass on this track. We got in on the front row there, and old Eller came down right on the front of my truck on that first jump, but worked on him for a little bit, and I got by him, and then it was just running good, consistent laps. I made a couple of mistakes, biked it up, but God, the tires were gripping incredible. I had control on the groove, and those BFGs were digging in the mud. Our tranny was about 300, but I didn't care, man. We're just going for it. I mean, this is my third year racing out here, and I've tried so hard. I've put my family through so much. I have the support of great sponsors like Amsoil, BF Goodrich, Nissan. Oh, thank you.
RedBud!
Yeah, I think the best way to do it is just get out in front, stay out in front. This is a great track, big holes up there, I love it.
I feel so excited for him and for his brother, but mostly for him. It's to see tears in his eyes because he's worked so hard. He's so proud.
Crossing the finish line at RedBud felt like a ton of bricks was lifted off my shoulders. The last few laps, I just kept saying, you know, you can do it, you're the fastest truck out here. But when I crossed the line, I mean, it really gave me shivers because we've been working for 3 years to get to the point that we reached. I've been racing for a lot of years, and really great to have my family here and have my mom because she's seen all the struggles. She's been behind me, and it was really great to have her there.
Look at this thing! This is what it's all about right here! Woo! Cardboard check!
It really feels good in the truck now because I felt it at RedBud, and I've never felt it before, but it was the balance in a turn where the weight is transitioning just right, the grip of the tires is perfect, and the gearing's perfect. Everything's balanced. And I've heard some scuttlebutt around here of people wanting my motor to be pulled, and I can speak for our team. We're not cheating. I'm glad that Greaves did what he did because it's really brought this stuff to a head, and we've been dealing with this silly issue of these engines forever.
We need to make it even. I mean, right now, it's not even at all. You can go take the 3 dyno sheets and you're going to go, oh, yep, that one's the best. We might as well all run that engine.
There are many other variables that determine the outcome of a race. You can't just look at race results as a measure of engine capabilities. This is a spec series, and it's all about the driver. And so driver experience, driver capabilities, suspension setup, tires, I mean, there's a lot of other variables.
There's a big difference in our team from the first year to the second year, and even to this year. And what that is experience out at the track, learning setups, and knowing what's fast. And I feel really comfortable in that truck now. I've gotten to the point where I feel like I wear the truck, and I've felt that in other vehicles, but when you feel that, you feel like you can go out there and do anything in it.
They're pulling engines, and I guess we'll see what happens.
They're going to take his motor, they're taking my motor, they're taking a couple other motors out.
Any team that wants to come to a track and try to prove a point and try to make it to where, you know, they think they're going to force our hand to make rules or make changes or whatever, that's not going to happen.
So I'll start with the start though. I got a great jump. Jumped up there, and
what was that about?
I don't know why they're pissed off at me. I didn't say anything.
You guys got to be sponsored by Traxxas to win here.
I'm not sponsored by Traxxas, am I? It says Mopar, doesn't it? Maybe you shouldn't have got fired.
Hey guys, nice talking to you. Y'all have a nice day. Put your sunblock on.
This is a $1,000 piece of garbage now. All mangled, done. Yeah, TORC racing.
I'm saying Dodge. Just because it makes everyone mad. teaches you to be humble and not just be an ignorant, or how do you say that? Ignorant. Ignorant, there you go.
Yeah, I try to hold my ground.
You guys weren't invited.
We obviously were not invited.
To be honest, we intentionally kept you guys out of the league.